I'm trying to get it in the right spot.
Yeah, this is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com. And today we have none other than WWE Hall of Famer Brutus the Barber Beefcake joining us.
Uh-oh.
Still strutting in a cutting, multiple time champion, one of the all-time greats. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great.
Just forget about it.
For some reason,
Don't worry about it.
I can't see.
Don't
anything.
worry, but you have to.
Okay. Anyway, no, everything's
we can
going.
see you. We can
Okay.
see
Well,
you.
as long as you can see me, everything's going great. The funny thing is it's been how long has it been since me and you really talked? Or I mean,
It's been a while, actually, hasn't it?
We had a few times out on the road, baby, and I mean, the Great White North in Canada and stuff. It was crazy times, man. In years past, great times.
Yeah. You're a very fun guy to hang out with, and we were definitely had some adventures. But as far as the WWE Hall of Fame, it was kind of a bit long time coming for you. Were you surprised when they finally gave you the call to put you in?
I guess I had basically figured they weren't going to do it, and it's been so long. And then Hulkster called and said they want to do it, and they were going to use me to introduce the thing on Sports Illustrated, a special, some kind of intro. My announcement was going to be real special, which made me feel good, it was Honky was in there, and we all had a good time. It was, then that thing with Brett happened. Well, the fan jumped in there, and then Brett and then Davey Boy was whooping on that guy, and then they dragged him out and whooped on him some more. It was.
Yeah, that was the most entertaining Hall of Fame, I think, ever, because this year, I don't know if you saw it, there was only 5 inductees, and it was 3 hours long. It was just dragged out.
I didn't get a chance, man. I was out in California for WrestleCon, so they were keeping me pretty busy.
Oh, I can imagine. Did you see anything of this Rick Steiner controversy at WrestleCon?
Yeah, I completely missed it, but evidently it really happened like right around the corner, or right before me, right after me. I'm not sure.
I'm a shame.
But right before maybe or something. I don't know. I don't really know what happened. I'm not even.
Yeah, there's some people saying it was made up, and other people saying it happened. So I don't know what the truth is. It's hard to believe no one filmed it.
With wrestlers, yeah. Everybody's got 5 phones in their pockets. The girl's got 3 phones. How can nobody have a phone to film that?
There's a fan on here that wants to know if you ever wrestled Matt Bourne or Giant Gonzalez.
No, but I did a movie with Giant Gonzalez, and I did wrestle Matt Bourne in Portland, when one of my early territories, 1979, and that's where Tony Bourne, his father, and Matt were from Portland, and it's where I was a young and up and coming guy. Wrestled Kurt Hennig for his first match. Him and his dad came in, and back in the early days, baby.
Wow, Kurt Hennig's very first match.
Yeah.
What did you think when he passed away? He passed away so suddenly.
It happened in Tampa, right here in my hometown. It was needless, terrible, beautiful family, a son, a great wife, and just a tremendous family. It was just something that should have never happened. Just shouldn't happen.
Now, as far as the first WrestleMania, you actually wrestled David Sammartino on that card. Are you surprised at what a big spectacle it's become now? 2 nights, big stadiums, or did you know back when that first WrestleMania happened that this was going to be something big eventually?
Anybody that says they knew it is a liar. Nobody had any clue. I mean, oh, we thought this was great and this was going to be great, but nobody had a clue how big. And the whole 2-day thing, okay, I'm not sure I really agree with it. I think if you got something that works and it's great, why change it? You know what I mean? So
I guess just they don't want to turn down the money and they know they can make it even though it's watered down a little bit.
a little.
How was David Sammartino? Because some people have said that he had attitude issues. Was he all right with you?
Oh, he was fine with me. I get along good with Bruno. I work with Bruno after the David thing because David pretty much took off, left, and so I actually worked with Bruno several times, and I had great matches with Bruno. I mean, it could have went anyway. Bruno was an old timer, and he liked me, and so I mean, we had a great match. He put me over like $1 million. I put him over like a monster, super big baby face, man. I flew all over the ring for him, and he put me over in his own hometown of Pittsburgh. I mean, that's called passing the torch. That's called, the younger generation. Here's comes the up and coming talent, and you give them the rub, and tell everybody, yes, this is a superstar coming up. He did that for me, and I'll never ever forget it. I mean, that was huge. That was huge.
Yeah, because I don't even think he did that for Honky Tonk Man when Honky Tonk wrestled him.
No, Honky was a little, strange to work with, and
A little wonky.
he wouldn't really mix with Bruno's mentality, his style, and everything. But I understood him, and we clicked in the ring. We had great matches. It was real easy, real.
Now, when you came into WWE, was that around the same time that Hogan came in, or did you come in slightly after him?
Slightly after him. He came in from Minneapolis. I had come through Minneapolis, and then through New York, and that's when I wound up going over to Austria and working with Otto Vance. Vince basically sent me over in John Studd's place. They had just started the Hogan run in New York, and John Studd was in a big angle, and it was the very beginning, and they didn't want to have to try to pull him out of a week's worth of main events, so they sent me over to wrestle this guy Otto Vance, the Austrian, the mayor of Austria, actually of Graz, and he gave me such a rave review to Vince that I got at my meeting with Vince when I came home and cooked up the name Brutus Beefcake, and I cooked up the outfits and stuff while down in Florida, and then boom, we hit the ground running.
Now, was it Vince's idea for the stripper gimmick? I guess you weren't really a stripper, but I guess it was kind of like that style with the bow tie and the fishnet pants.
Well, yeah, I completely caught them by surprise. I got the clothes from the rock guy that made rock and roll clothes in Florida, and the whole stripper thing. Pat Patterson wanted me to be from San Francisco. They first place, I think, either they introduced me from parts unknown or it was San Francisco, but they wanted me to. I think they wanted me to be the LGBT guy, like kind of or something. But that's not really where I was focused, and I went with the more the male stripper, the Chippendale kind of guy, rub with the bow tie and the boom and bang, and needless to say, it worked fantastic.
Yeah, it did. And one of your initial feuds was with Hulk Hogan, and you guys fought in front of some packed houses. Those matches are on YouTube.
Yeah.
You guys were already friends. Was that feud kind of something that he asked for, or did it just kind of fall into place with you getting over as Brutus?
It just fell into place. It was only a natural with me me. I got red hot fast, and then they put me with him. It was selling out basically with anybody that he was with. But when they put us together, we were selling out in like a week. When they started selling tickets, and we would sell out in like a couple of days. And we weren't used to that. And the 25, 30,000 seat arenas, everywhere was packed. There was 1,000 people outside trying to scalp tickets, buy tickets, or anything, thinking, there's going to be an extra tickets. Everybody showed up. Wrestling was super hot. I was at the right place at the right time, no question about it, and had a arrogantly good-looking Brutus Beefcake, and just rocked it. They got it was fun. It was a blast.
And the pay, I guess, was huge in those days.
I was getting pebbles, pence. I was getting nickels and dimes compared to what some people were getting. Yeah.
Did you guys kayfabe it on the outside, even though that you guys were close friends and you were one of his most trusted confidants at that time? Would you still hide it in the hotels and bars and stuff?
You mean kayfabing?
Yeah.
No. We rode in first class together in the planes. I knew in every town where the gym was. I knew where the best restaurant was. I knew what hotel we were in and where the arena was. So as soon as we hit the limousine at the airport, I just started telling the driver where to go. Okay, do we have enough time? Okay, we're going straight to the gym. We go to the gym, work out. Okay, boom, we go back to the hotel. We shower up real quick. We go, boom, to the arena. We hit the arena, come back to the hotel. Then, the airport. That's what we did every day when we were working together. We just traveled together. Okay, vaping at all. Nobody cared.
Right.
Nobody cared.
There was no internet.
Everybody thought we were brothers. They were like, okay, it's entertainment. The two brothers are wrestling. So they thought it was great.
What was the schedule like in those days? Because now they're lucky if they have 1 or 2 house shows a week. But I understand sometimes you do double shots on the weekends and you'd be on the road for weeks at a time.
I talked to CBS a few years ago, and they had called me, and they were doing an interview talking about the first WrestleMania in the beginning there with Vince and WWF. And I went and found a couple of my old ledgers and went through and had wrote down where TVs were. And I mean, maybe I didn't have every night was a town, but there was a town every night. And then a lot of times, depending on what time of year it was, we had matinees on Saturdays and matinees on Sundays. So here it is. You got a TV week. So on Monday, you wrestled 4 times. And if you're a feature, I was a feature, I got to be the last match of the night so that people would stay and watch all through the TV. So that's 5 matches. And then the next day was Tuesday. I wrestled 5 matches. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, wrestled 2 matches a day. And then now, okay, so what was that? 10, 18 to 20, to 22 times in a week you were just wrestled. And that happened at least every month or every 3 weeks. So we wrestled 500 matches in 1984, 500 matches in 1985, 500 matches in 1986, 87, 88, 89, 90. I didn't get to finish out, but it would have been 500 matches. Greg and I had the belts. We wrestled 100 days in a row without even a day off. We got to actually go through Florida a couple of times so we could go by our house and change out some clothes and see your family or whatever you had and start your car or I don't know, whatever, and then back out onto the road. And we ran insanely hard. And we did do good. Greg and I made great money. I did good money on my own. We had merchandise and stuff like that. Was pretty decent. But it never doesn't last forever. We had no insurance, we had no retirement, anything like that. So it be surprised how much money you can make. There was years, $1 million years after times, and restaurants and homes and condos and vehicles and cars and this and that. And one day there, next day it's gone.
We can't hear you.
Oh,
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
we lost your audio.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I got it now. Got it
Yeah.
now.
Okay. I said, would you have made more in WCW or WWE per year?
Oh no, WWE for sure.
Okay.
A lot more. So, but WCW just paying the bills.
Yeah. Someone wants to know about working with Dan Spivey, who I think replaced Barry Windham when you and Greg were feuding with the U.S. Express.
Yeah, Dan. Dan was from Tampa. I knew Dan. Yeah, he was like a mafia guy, mob guy, tough guy, leg breaker. Real, I was surprised when I really realized he was actually a real wrestler. And Dan was just the nicest guy too. You'd never know. But you know what? If you made him mad, you had a mean streak a mile wide. And the guy was tougher than nails. He gave Adrian one hell of a wake-up call, nearly killed him with his bare knuckles, hitting him 3 or 4 times, almost killed him. I never seen anybody so busted from bare knuckle shots. Danny was lethal. he was lethal. But I got along great with him. He's a Florida boy. I love him.
The Undertaker said he was a pimp, so I guess that kind of goes with what you were saying.
He was. He did all kind of stuff. He collected money. He was a leg breaker. He did all kind of stuff like that before the wrestling business. Yeah, well, Barry quitting on Mike there. I mean, that was a total screw job on me and Greg. We work with those guys and put them over a lot. And then when we switched the belts, we're supposed to work with them for at least 6 months. It's all booked. And then within a week, Barry quits. Now we got 6 months of matches. And what are we supposed to do? So Barry boned us big time. Greg and his partner too. And Danny stepped in, but it wasn't the same. You can't substitute like that. And it wasn't anything on Danny. It just so then they shot the Bulldogs to us and the Rockers and 2 or 3 tag teams, the Killer Bees. They shot, and we mauled the Killer Bees. And then the Rockers, they were okay. The Rockers were young kids, but they weren't ready for prime time. And the Bulldogs had the look but they still weren't ready for prime time either. We had to work with these guys and teach them how to have a real match that, not just a boom, 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 run around with your head on your tail on fire for 10 or 15 minutes. And then that's it. We had to teach them how to have a beginning, a middle, and an end and tell a story out there and have a match. And after, we had them for 6 months, 8 months, we had the Bulldogs, unbelievable. And we had them doing so good, they wanted to put the belts on in WrestleMania too. Oh, okay, it's something to do, but you're always better off having the baby faces chase the heels with the belts. The heels can put the baby faces over every single night, but not win the match and not lose the belts. And that way the people come every night and they want to see the good guys beat up the bad guys. And that's what you give them. But we don't lose the belts and you can go forever. But when you give the belts to the good guys, now the good guys got to win every night. So after a while, you don't have an opponent. You beat everybody. Who do you wrestle? Who's going to come to see you when they know every time you guys win. You know, it's the psychology of the business.
Yeah, you guys were a strong team for sure. When they broke you up, was that just the office saying, "Okay, let's turn Brutus face and make him the barber," or what led to
They didn't
that?
tell me nothing. They didn't tell Greg nothing. Didn't tell anybody. I didn't know about the barber thing until I walked into TV 3 days after WrestleMania. I didn't know anything. I don't know. I think I was being set up to fail, but there you go. With some help, the Hulkster stepped in, gave me some advice. We talked to Vince. Said, "Here's what we're going to do with Beefcake. This barber thing, nobody's ever done it. There's no template for it. There's no way to know what to do. So you have to get creative." So okay, I'm going to cut somebody's hair every single time I wrestle. I'm going to put the guy asleep, and when he's asleep, I'm going to cut his hair. And it was something that the people loved. They went crazy for. Oh, you got me lit up now.
I
What do
get
you
lit
think?
up.
And
Little light on
the
your
people, nobody ever had a clue that anything like this could happen. And then I got, pretty creative in the ring, doing stuff and cutting there and putting things on and painting stuff and putting a mirror there, doing all these, and did vignettes and crazy stuff in the barber and then I got those big clippers out. I went out with little scissors and I went like, Jesus, there's 25,000 people. Those people in the front, they can't, the people in the back, they can't really see me. How are they going to see a pair of scissors? So I got those big hedge clippers and went out, wrapped the handles up red and white, run out the first time with them, and the people went nuts. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the key. The big clippers and cutting the hair. And it was a hell of a baby face gimmick because he's like, I'm more of a heel than the heels are. That's what I'm doing to people.
Yeah, one of the most memorable was when you got Sensational Sherry's hair. How was she to work with?
She was great. I named her Sensational Sherry,
Scary Sherry.
Scary Sherry, and it caught on so much. She was just they went wild with it. Yeah, I cut her. What do you call it, honey? A wig, a fall?
Ponytail.
Yeah, she had a big ponytail. I chopped that with the big scissors, and that was in SummerSlam '89, I think.
Yeah, how was Zeus to work with? He was fairly green, but he was over like crazy.
Super green, super nice guy. He liked me and Hulk, which is a plus. If you don't like the guy you're working with, that's not gonna make it easy. But he trusted us. We had him for a day and a half to walk him through some real basic stuff, and we had built-in safeguards to keep him. If he got lost, then he had certain things that he was supposed to do. If he just forgot everything that he was supposed to do, and then he knew one thing and he'd do that, and then we knew we could regroup him, get him back on track. But he didn't need it. He went through 2 pay-per-view matches without one single screw up, one flaw. Most 99% of the guys now on TV, they can't get through their match half the time without screwing up. And they rehearse it and they do this and they do that. It's all written out. They walk. You can't be serious. This guy is an actor, and we took him through 2 pay-per-view matches without a mistake. That's something.
Yeah, he should be in the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame.
He should be in the Hall of Fame for what he did. Well, they put Andy Kaufman in the Hall of Fame for it. Zeus did more for wrestling than
Drew Carey as well.
Okay, all right. You know what? God bless them, and I'm glad. I'm glad they're all in the Hall of Fame. Everybody, is in the Hall of Fame.
Somebody that deserves to be into. A fan is asking about Haku. Did you ever see Haku in action?
Yeah, a lot. I go way back with all the Samoan families, and Haku is part of that. Part of that generation and part of those guys. And
Noah Kanoa is upcoming in Boca Raton Championship.
Yeah, and one of his relatives, Noah Kanoa. Yeah, he works with us in Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. Yeah, me and Me and the big guy had fun in Baltimore, in the Safari Club in Baltimore one night, and a guy was messing with me at our table, and Haku grabbed him by his head and came across the table and bit the end of his nose off and spit it on him. And the bar erupted into a huge melee fight. And then we snuck out the side door, and then I had to help him surrender to the police. But they wound up dropping the charges. They didn't charge him with anything. He didn't get in trouble. And I helped them, get through that. And it was like I had made a friend. I had made a friend for life. He says, if anybody ever messes with you, Beefcake, I'll tear their head off. I said, brother, I appreciate that.
Now, there's a clip that's famous on YouTube now of you doing like an interference, and I think it was an earthquake match under a new gimmick. Do you recall what that was in WWE? I think it was around the time you returned from your parasailing accident.
Yeah,
They had you,
a guy wearing fur, or
yeah.
was it? Yeah. That was just something I was trying to make the adjustment of deciding how much I could do in the ring. What was I willing to risk? The doctors told me I was absolutely out of my mind. I cannot ever wrestle. It's too risky. You're going to die, period. End of the story. So that's a, pretty big decision to make. What do I want to do? How far do I want to push this? So I had a few matches, and then after that, I decided I wanted to take a little more time. I felt I wanted to heal a little bit more, and then that's when we had the next thing I did in Gogi. We did that Monday Night Raw, and then that led into WrestleMania 9.
And you had a bunch of gimmicks in WCW. Did you have a favorite of all of the gimmicks? I know you couldn't use the Brutus the Barber one there, so they tried a lot of different ones.
Well, a couple of them were mine, and most of them weren't really theirs. There was the Butcher, just kind of came to fruition by the clothes I had. We just started calling me the Butcher, and then there was the Booty Man. The Zodiac was a character I played in one of Hogan's movies. There was a bunch of wrestlers. He was doing a scene where he was having a nightmare. It was a nightmare sequence, and I created this Zodiac.
Mr. Nanny, right?
Yeah, and I created this Zodiac character, and they were doing the Dungeon of Doom in WCW. They said, man, we want that Zodiac guy in the Dungeon of Doom. So next thing you know, I'm riding into the Halloween Havoc in Detroit at the Joe Louis Arena on the back of Bigfoot with Big Paul Wright, the giant, on the back of Bigfoot as the Zodiac. And it was paying the bills. It didn't matter. Basically, after that, they said they couldn't repackage me anymore. So I went home and dieted real heavy for like 8 weeks, and it was a real strict regimen. And with my training, and my body fat went down to 5%. I had my 30-inch waist, 20-inch arms. I was shredded. I had an 8-pack. Nobody even recognized me. I grew my hair long. I grew this beard out. Nobody recognized me at all. We walked into CNN Tower, me and Hogan. And it was when they were doing the NWO stuff, was running crazy. And he walks me in there. I had my vest on, my chaps. I was all oiled up and jacked. And he said, I want to introduce you to my new disciple. And they were all giddy and laughing, going, oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh my God. Then he goes, oh yeah, by the way, that's Brutus Beefcake. Half of them ran out of the room. So there were a bunch of them didn't like me. Bischoff and his crew, they didn't like me. So they all took off. But the rest of the people were just sitting there laughing. They couldn't believe it. They go, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was an amazing transformation. So Boca Raton Championship Wrestling, you want to tell us about this commissioner job you're doing before we wrap it up here?
Well, it's a new outfit. There's a lot of young, up and coming wrestlers, a lot of NXT guys. We got a 7-foot
Jack
Talos. He's like 7-foot tall giant. About Bull. What's Bull's last name? I'm so bad on names. We got a really great crew of guys. Gangrel works with us all the time. Jimmy Hart's been with us already. He's coming back. Jake Roberts has come in. Jim Duggan's come in. It's a guys, real class act organization, top notch. Real class act deal for
Matt Tavern
for wrestling. Neil the Heel is our announcer. They are they're doing great. It's amazing that if somebody wants to do it, they can get a business going. If you can find some good people, and there's plenty of good people around. Everybody still trying to make a living out there. That the COVID epidemic put us all out of work for 2 years. Yeah, so I'm the commissioner. I make sure everything is just the way I want it.
And where can the fans follow you if they want to look you up?
Well, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.com.
Boca Raton Championship Wrestling,
.com, Brutus Beefcake, BrutusBeefcake.com. But the website for Boca Raton Championship Wrestling, it's easy to find, and it's endless. There's all kind of links on there. They show about names and of all the players involved, and it's great. I don't have to fly. I can hop in my car and drive over there and stay a day or two. And
don't forget over the top, give kids the world.
Go to the beach. Yeah, I'm doing. We do some charity events with the organization Give Kids the World. Me and the wife are going to rappel down a hotel in a big building in Orlando here in about a week or two.
All right. Well, I want to see that. That sounds like something that I really want to see.
Yeah.
Can you bring your wife on so we can see her for a sec before you go?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh, you might give you
all right.
You saw part of her.
All right.
Yeah, we saw part. Okay.
Yeah.
There's your.
That's there she is.
Here I am.
Okay. Is she on camera with you in that in Boca Raton Championship Wrestling?
Yeah. Oh,
I'll
yeah.
be
No,
repelling.
if you go pull up her footage on YouTube, you'll see her.
Okay.
You can't mistake her, brother.
I'm the
She's
delish.
gorgeous. She's gorgeous. The commission, the delish.
There you go. You're doing very well for yourself. I'll let you.
You know what? Good things come to good people. It's about karma, man. You try to treat people the way you want to be treated, treat people well, and hopefully, give and you get back. We always try to give, and you know what? It makes a difference.
Don't forget about Gogi right there.
My power dog. That's Go Power Doggy up there, like on the back.
Oh yeah, she's feisty.
All 10 pounds of her.
This 5 pounds. This
6
power
pounds of
dog.
her. I don't know. She's little, but
Yeah, I got a little one too here.
Uh-oh.
I got a 6-pounder too, but she's been quiet throughout this.
we got 3.
Oh, 3?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you got a zoo going on.
This is Power Doggy. Oh, we got a crazy. All 3 of them sleep with us at night. It's a real circus.
Yeah, take baby
And
now.
then
Take baby.
that's Go. This is Baby. She's a little bigger for a long-haired Chihuahua, but she cries, and you think it's a human. Like we were afraid to leave her in the hotel because if she starts crying for us, somebody's gonna bang the door down, thinking we left the baby crying in the room. It's
I
Cry
understand
Baby.
what
That's her name.
like.
Is Cry Baby.
Well, I appreciate you coming on with us. We'll definitely have to have you on again, and I'll let you close this off with whatever you want to tell the fans.
I just wanted to thank the fans. I mean, a while back I had a knee replacement, and the fans raised money to help my knee get replaced, and it's doing better. I'm doing better. Died and lost 25 pounds. I'm trying to get more weight off. It's not easy getting old. I did 42 years in our business, And so the wear and tear is bad, but I'm feeling great. I got the best wife. I got best friends and people that I'm living with and working with. And life, is great. God loves me and I love him back.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the